Alright, so I'm making some progress on the windshield. I do a quick video as I'm going along, but anyways, what I ended up with, I picked up some 3/4 inch square tubing. I believe it's maybe 3/16 to 1/8 thick. I think this is 3/16, and the 1 inch I already had was 1/8 inch. So I just ended up bringing home some of this 3/4 enough to build the frame, and just kind of hatched the plan. So this 1/8 inch wall, 1 inch, can be the outer post. I had some 2 inch left over from the hatch project, so I just went ahead and did a center post with that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put a piano hinge right here. Alright, so here's the first plexiglass piece that I cut and bent, and I don't know if this shows the bends very well, but so I was kind of experimenting with how to bend it, because I didn't find anything that really applied well on YouTube, but I ended up trying it here with the heat gun, and of course I started to melt my foam a little bit, so kind of gave up on that. And I'd never bent plexiglass before, never even cut it. But so that didn't work out, and I ended up just trying to figure out another way to heat it. And then, you know, when you concentrate the heat too much, it basically bubbles. And so I'm like, well, crap, you know, how do you bend this stuff without bubbling it? I was just using a small heat gun, and I just couldn't get this much 1/4 inch plexiglass hot enough to actually to bend it. So, and once it does get hot enough, it just suddenly relaxes. It's like just all of a sudden, you know, it's not like this slow thing where it starts to bend, and then it bends. It, you know, it's just pretty much, once it got there, it was bam. So anyway, I got it done, but you know, you can see there's a little distortion in the windshield right at the edge, which is not too big a deal. Same goes over here. But you know, I got the bends done pretty well. Just using an angle finder and doing it on a bench over there. So as far as the viewing space here, I think it's all pretty good. I don't know where those scratches came from. I was a little concerned because, you know, with this big a window, you want good viewing, especially when you're doing things like rapids. You need to be able to pick out details ahead, you know, and account for them. So, you know, we'll see how well it stays clear, you know. I think it'd be awesome to have like automotive glass or something. I don't even have a clue how you go about doing that. So anyway, I start the next piece. The next piece is the hinge portion, because we end up loading on the deck. You know, on the riverbank, we'll just jump on the deck and then climb down in. Well, obviously I'm putting the windshield in, so this piece is going to open up. I'm going to hinge it there, the two pieces. So I got the next piece of plexiglass ready to go. Where did I put my frame? Oh, there it is. So here's the frame, and it's got bends on the end as well. Because I didn't, you know, turn the middle piece is square, and then you have an angle back, you know, and so I just went ahead and squared up these side pieces too. So I suppose you could turn and keep from having to bend this side, but I wanted to flush mount here with when the hinge window comes down and hits this. I wanted it flush so I could put a piece of stripping in there and it sits flat. So anyway, got to bend both ends of this as well, which is obviously a shorter bend, but you know, that's what you got. And the same on the other side. So anyway, once I get this set up, I'll basically show what I was doing. But as far as cutting this stuff, yeah, I never cut it either. So I just looked online. People are using saws and stuff. They say to use as many teeth as you can. So I ended up using the skill saw with the finish blade on it, I believe it is. It was good and sharp, pretty new. And I'm just clamping it to the table here. and using this groove in the table saw. And my lines are straight, so I'm just marking the frame out on here, and then I set my blade depth where it wouldn't hit bottom, but it would go through, and just slowly moving across the line, and no chipping or anything like that. So that goes pretty well. So I'm just going to put this on there, trace it out, and then once I get it set up, I'll show what I was doing to heat it and bend it. Alright, so here's the windshield wiper that I purchased. Let's see. So this is the one on Amazon. It's a UNIGT. Anyway, it's a pair for like 27 bucks. So I wanted to try a cheap one before. And there was a nice one I was looking at. It was like a Sequest or whatever it was. It looked like all like chromed metal. And but they didn't give the dimensions, so I'm like, crap. At least this one I was able to determine that it seemed like a reasonable fit. So I didn't want to take a, and that was almost 50 bucks for the nice one. And I don't know, I'll search more later and try and find something, but they all seem to take a 1/2-inch hole mount, so I think they're all pretty compatible on the mounting. And apparently you can change blades. This has the hook on the end of the metal shaft, so it's supposed to be able to kind of a universal fit, I believe. And on the more expensive one, they were saying it wasn't that type of universal fit, and there were limited blades you could get for it. But if you wanted an inch shorter blade, like the blade's actually hitting a screw or something, and you just need a little bit shorter, versatility would be king on that. So I thought I'd try these cheap ones, see how they go. This is what the set comes with. This is pretty simple stuff. Just got a handle that goes through a shaft, a threaded shaft, and it pretty much, once it's in there, just sits like that. Nothing special, but it seems to work fine. This here, lengthwise, I've got a 3/4 inch aluminum square tubing OD and 1/4 inch plexiglass, and I probably had a thread on each side showing after I tighten it down. So that's that's probably close to the limit. And I went ahead and put some blue Loctite on there just so they wouldn't back out. But these squish down pretty good. Definitely a good seal and all that. In general, I think it is pretty cheap. These plastic covers are definitely kind of cheap, but this just pulls off, squeeze right there and push it out. And then your blade, this goes in here like this, just hooks in, and then you snap that down. So that's pretty simple there. But as I was trying to figure out where to put it in the measurements, I'm sitting there messing with it under spring pressure, trying to keep it straight and then measure the distance after I put that on. And then I realized, oh, pop the spring out. So once I popped the spring out, it was pretty easy, just to straighten this out, get my travel down just right and mark the center hole. And this plastic cap's pretty cheap, just pops right off, or at least it did on the other one. Yeah, and it pushes back in. It's metal, but it's pretty cheap sheet metal. We'll see how it holds up. Might be fine. They say you can adjust these by drilling the rivet and moving it, but it's like, yeah, and that's going to change your spring pressure. So I'm not sure that would be the greatest idea. I suppose if you wanted to shorten that, you'd have to cut this and re-secure it somehow. I don't know. Like maybe you could cut it inside here, slip this out, cut off a chunk, put it back in. Yeah, that might be the way to do it. You just, yeah, it'd be tough, but you might be able to spot weld it with regular steel wire. But anyway, I think it turned out okay. Works good. You can see it just comes down, hits that bolt, comes up. It's got pretty good coverage on this windshield. Now this windshield stops over there, which is fine. This windshield's wider because I went off center on my windshield. So I haven't done the other side yet. I'm hoping I can get it in there where it works, and as well as this side. Both of these windshields are 22 in the center, height-wise, and 18 on the outside. This one's just wider, so got a little more room for it. But anyway, windshield worked out pretty good. I still gotta refine my latch here, but it's been working great. Just if nothing else, I want to put a little ring on there just so I can pull up. And once it locks down, it doesn't move, and it pulls in real nice on that seal. Doesn't shake. Just putting this single post on here, this 1" by 1/8", 1" OD, and welding it on. It doesn't move. I've actually grabbed it getting in and out, and it's fine. So windshield doesn't rattle and shake, with this design. So I'm not going to put anything here. From what I can tell, when you get sprayed with water, if it's coming over the windshield onto you, it's going to do it. I don't think there's a big advantage in having this here, and it's really nice just for slipping inside. So I just don't really need to obstruct that. You can always get on the back, but it's just better to have more versatility as far as that's concerned. So anyway, I finished up this windshield and hit the river today.